I'll just read at your level. Joey Ramone style. Whenever I type the word teenage into my phone, the next suggested word is Republican. It's a stark reminder of my teenage years as the captain of my high school debate team. Another stark reminder is my Letterman jacket. Yes, you can letter in debate. That proudly displayed the letters TARS, which stands for Teenage Republicans, a club I was a proud member of. Look, it's not my fault. I went to school in the suburbs and literally didn't know anyone who wasn't a white kid in a similar situation as me. Also, my dad was a blue-collar Democrat and I hated him, so of course I rebelled the only way I could. I signed up with the Grand Old Party. I believed in the idea of personal responsibility, as I mooched off everyone I know and never did my homework. I believed in budgeting yourself, as I spent all my money on semi-daily P-Zone binge. I wanted limited government, as I went to a public school and listened to NPR, except during Pledge Week, like everyone. And like other Republicans, I was content in my hypocrisy. But what story about adolescent conservatism would be complete without mentioning my love and adoration of the 20th century prophet of self-preservation? You know her, you love her, Ayn Rand! Yes, I was obsessed with Ayn Rand. I owned all but one of her books, Atlas Shrugged. But I read everything else, Fountainhead, Anthem, We the Living. I even read her books on objectivism, which I will defend to this day. When you're a teenager who is constantly being told what to do, how can you resist the siren song of selfishness? I resolved that everything I would do for myself. If I gave money to charity, it was because I wanted to, not because of society's pressures. I was so into Ayn Rand that I quoted the Fountainhead when I was breaking up with a high school girlfriend. She would talk and talk about stuff I didn't care about, and tried subtly to change me by buying me clothes I didn't like and making me watch Disney movies. Author's note, if you still write about Disney movies in your online dating profile, grow the fuck up. Eventually, I had had enough. I called her up and told her, listen, I would die for you, but I refuse to live for you. She paused. What the fuck are you talking about? It's the Fountainhead. It means that I can't allow myself to bend to your will. I must be strong, resolute, and focused on my own self. She interrupted me. You're a fucking dork. I'll skip to the end of this. Bye. Her words could not break me. I imagined her looking at the bottom of her shoes, expecting to find the remains of my smushed heart, only to find nothing but dog turds. She was not the partner I wanted. She was not the ideal woman, a woman who could survive the apocalypse that was inching ever closer. She wasn't that at all. She was a parasite. Fast forward to college. I'm still a conservative, baby! I was rolling my eyes at the childlike innocence of those who would believe that handouts do anything but make one reliant on outside factors. My parents paid for college. I was finding out who the conservative professors were and obsessively signing up for their classes. My senior year, I was finally eligible to take a course I had my eyes on for years, Theories of Capitalism. I'd been wanting to take this class for a long time because it was the only course offered at the University of Houston that had Ayn Rand on the syllabus, and not just any Rand book, Atlas Shrugged. I was finally going to be able to study my idol, and it was going to be in an academic sense. I couldn't wait to watch the gears turn in my classmates' heads as they realized how wrong they were for thinking the world is a kind place. As we went through the semester, I was constantly finding myself as the grape in a bowl of tomato soup. These college kids were starting to have their fill of my philosophy, but it always does hurt to hear the truth. Finally, we got to Atlas Shrugged. As much as I was looking forward to it, my classmates were absolutely dreading it. On Monday, we covered the first third of the book. I absolutely dominated the class discussion. I came prepared. I read essays backing up my points. Classmates were groaning, rolling their eyes, trying to debate me, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I was right. So, after class, My friend offered me acid. I had never taken acid before. I had always been curious since I was a big Ken Kesey fan. Why not? I didn't have class until Wednesday, and I was almost done with the reading. Time to expand my mind. When we went to go pick up the acid, we walked in this very fancy apartment. As we opened the door, I was absolutely disgusted with what I saw. A hippie den. There were about 20 people in the apartment, and it was layered with a thick cloud of smoke. We walked into the back room where the acid dealer was. He pulled out a vial and placed 2 drops under each of our tongues. As we were clearing up the financials, a little boy, about 12 years old, popped his head in. His eyes were glazed over, his hair buzzed down short, his general demeanor a burnout. He turned to the dealer and asked, "Hey, can I have some more acid?" The dealer laughed. "You're gonna fry your brain before you're even old enough to vote, little man." And then he gave the kid some acid. Now this weirded me the fuck out. I wanted to get out of there and I wanted to do it now. We bailed and went to my friend's apartment to wait for the acid to kick in. The whole time I couldn't stop thinking about that hippie den with that poor child who should probably be taken away by the state. But which state? The state of Texas, or the state like the philosophical concept of an organized power, or the state that one sketch group from way back when? And oh man, can we put some of that on? Oh wait, shit, no, put on some music. I want to hear some music. I want to lose myself in, why the fuck are you putting on white noise? This sucks, everything sucks. I need to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror. What I saw was a judgmental hypocrite. I judged everyone I knew, sometimes for something as simple as wanting to help other people. I had been going through life thinking I deserved more than anyone else when I was already getting more than most people. I wasn't an adherent of the virtue of selfishness. I was just selfish. For 8 hours, I had a bad trip. I was reminded of every time I cheated someone, my own flaws as a vile opportunist. I had to face the facts. Everything I had, every goal I had accomplished couldn't have been done without the support of others. I wasn't a self-made man. I was a suburban brat who romanticized self-sufficiency to the point that I wanted to date a doomsday prepper. I needed to change. The world needed to change. And I wanted to help. The next day, I still had to do my homework. As I was reading Atlas Shrugged, I found that I disagreed with everything in the book. I spent most of the afternoon reading up on Ayn Rand and discovering her terrible hypocrisy. She lived off the government. She manipulated young working students into covering her bills. She was a false prophet. I was embarrassed. But I wasn't defeated. I was going to make this right. On Wednesday, I went into class and did a 180. I was shitting on Ayn Rand and talking about how immature and childlike her views were. Anyone who has to justify why you don't want to help others has deeper problems that they need to face. My classmates were very surprised. I was accused of playing devil's advocate, just trying to get people to agree so I could whip off my fake mustache and say, "Ha ha, it was me, Dick Cheney!" But no, I was earnest in how I changed my mind. When the professor asked why I changed my mind seemingly overnight, I said, "Acid, man." Acid. He said, "Don't tell me that." And gave me a C-.